Hello and welcome back to
The Zak
and Buzz
Review.
Dun, 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 dun,
They're taking the Hobbit to Isengard.
Anyway,
In
so
the future.
Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Season 2, Episode 6, Where is he?
Where is he indeed?
Exactly, where is he?
Well, we know where he is.
I think everyone knows where he is, except the people that want to know.
Exactly. So let's talk about this episode, seeing that I thought it was a pretty damn good episode, to be honest.
I mean, this season is proving so consistent. I'm really surprised. Because Season 1, there are a couple of dips in the flow of things, but this one just seems to be knocking it out of the park every single week.
Yeah, I know we're still a bit controversy with those Lord of the Rings fans out there that, like, as soon as an episode comes out, the first thing that happens online is, does this follow the Silmarillion and Tolkien's lore exactly?
They can't. They honestly, they can't. They haven't got the rights to it all, so they can only do what they can.
They're doing a good job of entertaining people who enjoy this, and we enjoy it.
Yeah.
So where were we with this one? Right.
Where should we start? Because there's quite a lot of things going on in this one.
Well, I think we started off with Celebrimbor not having much luck forging the 9 rings.
Well,
he's run out of Mithril, and he's not doing too well.
At which point we have Annatar, who is Halbrand, who is Sauron, and that's where he is in Eregion.
That's it. Where is he?
Eregion. There we are.
That's it.
He kind of is slowly taking over things, isn't he?
Yes.
Strangers from distant lands, friends of old.
He's all but on paper the Lord of Eregion at this point. He's taken over like everything else except
all the
ring making.
smithies trust him.
Yes.
And he's kind of like, we have no mithril. I know. I'll go and get you some. So he nips off to see the dwarves.
He sees the dwarves.
Quick fast travel.
Well, I mean, he is a being of untold powers. He can do this stuff, okay?
Yes.
He's Sauron.
I mean, let's face it, he was a wiggly worm blob at one point. So.
Wiggly worm blob.
You know,
is that official to Tolkien lore? I don't know. Let us know in the comments.
It doesn't matter if it isn't, but there you go.
Anyway, so he goes off to Durin to ask for more mithril.
Yep.
Now, at which point we actually find that he has some resistance here from obviously Durin and his son Durin the Fourth. It'll be Durin the Fourth, yeah. And they refuse him more mithril.
Yep.
Meanwhile, they themselves are kind of giving away this idea that they're building up like armor made of mithril to become some kind of invincible army.
Meanwhile, having wheelbarrowfuls of treasure being dropped in front of the king's throne.
So in exchange for obviously the rings of power for the dwarves.
Interesting you say that, because again, another thing online, people have been saying, I don't understand this. If they're mining all these treasures out of Khazad-dûm, why are they all suddenly goblets and things?
Well, they're dwarves, they make them.
No. But the point is, it's not from Khazad-dûm,
yes,
is it?
They're tributes.
It's tributes from the other dwarf kingdoms.
Exactly.
Sort it out. Anyway, so, but he's like, yes, money.
Oh, beyond measure.
So obviously, Annatar
in a dwarven world
is a bit peed off. You can see it in his facial expressions. Great actor for doing this role, by the way.
He does a very good job.
He somehow, obviously later on in the episode, manages to get some mithril.
He, because obviously that's at the start of the siege of Eregion, when suddenly Celebrimbor, who is like absolutely knackered at this point, because he's being stripped. He is literally being used. And this is his final act, is to make the 9 rings, which again, I think with the Tolkien lore, it might have been the other way around. It's the way it is in the show. I think originally they forged the 9 rings and the dwarven rings first, and then finished with the 3 rings. And you put me right on this, but I think the 3 elven rings, the reason they sustain themselves is because they weren't actually tampered with. But in the show it's slightly different, and then we don't care because it's working out well. But then he takes Celebrimbor out and does a bit of illusionist work, and he thinks everything is fine.
Dude, it's fine. I've got this.
But then
everyone's happy.
And then he presents him with this very fancy hammer.
Have the fancy hammer.
And he gives him the mithril. Now, I'm not sure, you see, whether this presentation of mithril, after being told he can't have any, is that it is mithril, or he's just imagining.
Well, maybe that's the thing. Yeah, we don't know Sauron and his mischievous
ways. Sends him back to his forge to get on with the 9 rings. Meanwhile, all hell's breaking out outside.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings us on to Adar.
Watch the other episodes of this review to find out what that means.
No, you've all got to do that. See, so you just mentioned Adar. Oh
no, Sauron has fallen.
What did it say?
Oh no, everything's falling over.
That's Sauron for you.
I'll grab this. Talk about Adar.
Adar.
Oh no, it's all going wrong.
Anyway,
right,
so we have...
The Ent's going to go down.
The Ent's down.
The Ent is down.
So... It's like the fall of a ring. I think he sounds a bit ropey. He's a bit old these days.
Poor Treebeard.
Poor Treebeard. Anyway, so Adar has got Galadriel.
Yes.
And chained to a chair.
But this very interesting, this particular interaction. It's the fact that they seem to be aligning their goals with one another.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Galadriel, she's falling for it.
And Adar, nearly missed that myself then. He is playing her, but doesn't seem to realise that he is being played just as much by Sauron.
That guy.
That guy. And,
who wants all this siege to go ahead.
Yes.
I see you.
And
He's playing right into his hand.
Shows Galadriel the crown of Morgoth, which, again, Tolkien lore, I believe the crown of Morgoth was hammered into a neck ring to bind Morgoth. So
Okay,
but then again,
factoid,
it could be a bit of it or something.
Well, maybe it'll. Anyway,
he did mention about Sauron. I think he said it's about Sauron reforged, shaping it to fit him or something. So who knows? But anyway, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, and he wants to use Morgoth's crown and Rings of Power to finally defeat Sauron.
Exactly. And Galadriel obviously is saying, well, how are you going to do this? You only brought 1 legion.
Lol.
Lol. Adar has got a load of them.
He has...
What, another 2 legions?
A lot.
It looked like another couple
It's going
of
off
legions.
into the distance. You can see loads of fires.
Plus the big rock troll. He's probably got some mates
What's
as well.
his name?
I can't remember.
Damrod.
Damrod.
I want to see the troll.
Yeah.
Troll
well,
fight.
we did get a glimpse of him.
Yeah, for the preview for the next episode.
And so he's got loads of troops to set siege to Eregion, and of course that's exactly what Sauron wants, because he wants to get them rings forged, and then he wants Eregion to fall.
Yeah, you could see it. He's like overseeing. You can see at the end of the episode, he's watching the siege begin to take place, and he's just like, "Yup, this is what I want."
Everything that actor does, or should I say, really, the character of Sauron, he keeps putting a little wry smile on every time something happens. Wry smile. So no, you can't have any mithril. Okay.
Okay.
We're not going to forge the rings. Okay. So it's just everybody's being played here. And of course, poor old Galadriel is still chained to the chair, isn't she?
Yeah. She's been carted off now. It's like completely been played by Adar.
Oh, do that one again.
Adar.
There you go.
Okay. So maybe we should shift.
Yep.
Before we...
Oh, yes, because we've got to go across the sea.
Across the
ocean waves.
Numenor, where all hell is obviously kind of gone down.
It's all going wrong for...
Elendil,
who is
the dad of Isildur.
His pride has kind of said, no,
so he's put on trial and should be put to death. However...
he says, okay, I agree, I did what I did.
The dodgy king puts him to this kind of... I don't know, oldie trial.
To the book.
Yeah, they want to live by the book.
By the book.
The old ways. I think that's the old
ways.
Then he can die by the old ways. So hey, make him face the sea serpent.
The sea worm.
The sea worm.
Sea worm. It's like...
I never expected to see this worm so much. Really,
it's featured quite a lot.
I know.
And then at the last minute, the queen steps up and says, "No, the
blind queen, yeah.
I'm going to take your place. It's my right. It's
by the book. I can do this."
The man with the book says, "Yes, that's it." No, actually, the girl his daughter runs up and says, "Yes, everything's in the book."
Because obviously
she's read the book.
She wants to save the dad, obviously.
She's obviously had a snoop through the book and read it all.
Exactly.
She knows the law. And so in goes the Queen. Out comes the sea worm. And then she gets chucked back onto the thing.
She survives, surprisingly. I actually thought she was going to get killed off.
It was kind of a scene almost reminiscent of Clash of the Titans going on there.
Yeah, kind of.
So like the Kraken throwing.
So Elendil's alive, the Queen's alive, the King kind of peed off.
He's going and playing with his ball.
A Palantir is a dangerous tool, Saruman.
I know, it's crazy.
I
the hypocrisy here.
I've got to say, I really actually liked the effect they put. As soon as he touched it, it sort of went...
Yeah, it kind of
filled up the screen.
That was really
cool.
cool.
That effect. Like that was a really cool effect, guys. Yes. So that's kind of like left that now in the balance.
So, obviously, the last kind of section of this particular episode, we get to go back to the Stranger and Tom Bombadil.
Tom Bombadil, who's the very jolly fellow.
Ah, yes. And he kind of sets the Stranger, who's obviously Gandalf, on a final task to prove his worthiness to have a staff.
We did get to see the Harfoots briefly. And we saw Poppy having a bit of a snog.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. I think it's Nobody.
Yes, it's because they couldn't think of a name for him, could they?
Yeah.
They only came up with that 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, the Stewers.
The Stewers.
Stewers and the
Harfoots. Be called a Steward, do you?
No, not really.
Anyway, so I didn't see anything of the Dark Wizard, but we're back with Tom Bombadil and the Stranger, who everybody knows is Gandalf, even though they're still arguing about it.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious on social media. If it's completely wrong, shame on us. But it very clearly is. It's Gandalf.
Gandalf. I mean, Tom Bombadillo. Bombadillo is part of the sing song. Tom Bombadil does quote Gandalf lines from Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In this one, and Gandalf basically has got a plethora of knackered trees.
You must search to find the staff.
Yes, you must be one with the sacred fire.
Yes.
And if you cock up, you won't get a second chance.
If you leave now, no.
Go and rescue your friend.
At some points in life, two paths must become one.
Yes.
Or whatever.
He's gonna go and find his staff.
Exactly.
Then he's gonna save the
Probably.
The Harfoots.
Probably. Wizard battle, come on.
But I also have a little thing.
You've kept this under wraps, haven't you?
No. It suddenly dawned on me whether this is going to be the case or not. I don't know.
You heard it here first, folks.
But Tom Bombadil's hat is very reminiscent of Gandalf's. So I'm wondering whether Tom Bombadil is going to give him the hat as well.
Yeah.
You know?
That would work.
So he can be the wandering stranger.
Yeah.
Which is technically Odin.
Mythology,
yes it is.
So overall, what would you rate this episode out of 10?
Oh, I actually really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a solid 8.
Really enjoyed
I'm giving it another solid 8. I want to see how these battles... You've got to leave a bit of a buffer zone, all right? A buffer zone for the... We've got 2 episodes of amazing battles supposedly going.
Supposedly. I hope it's better than the Siege of Winterfell. I mean, come on.
Come on, that was dire the way they did that.
I may as well just cover my eyes.
And say, oh yeah, that looks really good.
Oh wow, it's so atmospheric.
Oh, can't you just see all the army of the dead? No, I can't. Anyway, obviously the dwarves have got to go to war. That means I'm going to get my hammer and be able to go to war.
Ding, ding.
Hey!
Because he's a dwarf.
I'm a dwarf.
You know by now.
Whether you get to see me with my hammer, I don't know. But we shall see. Maybe then. I'm kind of expecting the rallying call for the dwarven nations to be
to back up the elves.
To be in the next episode.
Yeah. Maybe the elves will be on the kind of the losing hand, and then they need to bolster their numbers.
Well,
the dwarves,
obviously the dwarves, and during the fourth has still got his friendship with Elrond, should I say?
Yep.
Cough. Adar.
What?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a way of clearing your throat, isn't it? Adar.
Can I give my rating now?
Give me a rating.
Okay, I'm going to go 8 as well. Very much on the same page as you. I really enjoyed it. I think it has had so much potential this season, and it really has delivered probably beyond my expectations.
That's better. Yeah. 8.
Every episode. It's been good. I've enjoyed it all the way through.
8 all round, and production quality superb. Because I'm not just rating this from the story's perspective. from the acting,
the look, the cinematography,
the cinematography, the writing, the sound,
incredibly sympathetic.
The music,
to
score.
Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, which is great.
I mean, I love the fact they keep putting that the Nine Rings melody.
They've really figured out how to do that, haven't they?
And they put that in there, and if you don't notice it, fine. But the thing is, it's there, and that just through the sound links it to Peter Jackson.
Perfect.
There you go. But anyway, it's a great one.
So,
what's going to happen in the next episode? I don't know.
Do you feel parched?
Or maybe I do.
Do you feel parched? I think you
do.
feel parched.
That's
because you've been coughing.
That's why
you've been saying Adar so much.
What was that you just said?
Adar.
Okay. Yes, I am feeling a bit parched. Funny you should say that.
Yeah.
I think it would be great if it's time for a coffee.
Please buy us a coffee. That would be absolutely fantastic.
I've run out.
Really appreciate the support. Thank you very much.
You guys are fantastic.
Find the links in the description.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to the next episode. But only 2 left, I think.
No! We have to wait an entire, 2 years probably.
Anyway, we shall see you in the next one.
If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below any suggestions of further reviews you'd like to see.
Catch you next one.